Few places have quite the aura of the Copacabana beach in Rio. The Brazilian sportsman learning his art on the golden sands is a touch cliched, but some of the very best really did start that way. Championship-winning volleyball players and some of the world's best footballers.
Eu comecei a jogar futebol de praia.
I started playing football on the beach at the age of 9 here in Rio de Janeiro.
Apesar de eu ter nascido em João Pessoa, vim para o Rio.
I came to Rio when I was only 4, from João Pessoa.
No Mirim.
I started to play in Mirim, a category that existed for boys up to the age of 10.
Onde tinha garotos até 10
I then played for the Juventus team on the beach.
Que é o Juventus.
I played for them for almost 10 years.
Joguei durante praticamente 10
I only left Juventus to go and play for Flamengo.
Para jogar futebol de campo no Flamengo.
Not many defenders are mentioned when football fans think of the game's great artists, but an exception would be Junior, an attacking fullback par excellence who was at the top of the Brazilian scene for almost 2 decades. Under the statue of Christ the Redeemer is the training ground of Brazil's most famous club, Flamengo. It was originally a rowing club for the rich middle classes of Rio's Flamengo suburb. It was exactly 100 years ago that they started a football section. Now, while it still caters for many other sports, only one dominates. It was here that Leo Vigildo Lins Gama Jr. entered professional football. It was a good club to join.
Flamengo
is perhaps the only name in Brazil that can compete with Coca-Cola.
Concorrer com a Coca-Cola, vamos dizer assim.
Because wherever you go, you'll always find someone with a Flamengo shirt on. When you ask them why, they'll say it's because I'm a Flamengo fan.
Só sei que eu sou Flamengo.
In the last few years, Flamengo and their fanatical fans have seen the richer Sao Paulo clubs achieve great success, and they've won nothing domestically since 1992. Their finest years were in the late 70s and early 80s. Junior was part of a team that won 3 Rio titles and 3 national titles. In 1981, they won the Copa Libertadores, beating Cobreloa of Chile in a playoff. It was a team of all the talents.
Zico, y gol de Flamengo, con una maestría increíble, con un talento de los grandes.
Dentro da equipe, praticamente 8
In that Flamengo team, there were 8 players who had played for the national team, or that went on to represent Brazil.
Basicamente era time formado de jogadores selecionados.
It was a side made up of international stars. On top of that, there was a player who could make a difference to any team, Zico.
That December, Flamengo, with Zico in majestic form, beat Liverpool 3-0 in Tokyo to win the Toyota Cup. Junior had little to do in defence as a superb attacking display tore the European champions apart. Flamengo were the first Brazilian club to become world champions since Pelé's Santos. The next year, they provided the backbone of a Brazilian team many thought were also destined to become world champions.
We had an opportunity to show, for the first time since 1970, 12 years previously, the way football should be played. The 1982 Brazil team did not win the cup, they didn't even reach the semi-finals. But that team is still talked about to this day, because they created something beautiful.
The Brazilian team won 4 matches in Spain. They knocked out the world champions Argentina. They scored 15 goals. They looked unbeatable. Then they met Italy. Junior played Paolo Rossi onside as he scored his 3rd and decisive goal. The dream was over. Junior was still part of the Brazil lineup in 1986. The team wasn't quite as special, but they still impressed. Once again, the early promise ended in despair before they even reached the semi-finals. By this time, Junior was in the midst of a 4-year spell in Italy. He enjoyed his time at Torino and Pescara, but success eluded him. That only came when he returned to Rio and his old club. Once more, Flamengo started competing for silverware, and in 1992 they won the Brazilian title, with the now greying number 5 as their captain. He even managed a recall to the full national team at the age of 38. After 22 years on the field, Junior is now a coach, both with Flamengo and in the national setup. He lives on the outskirts of Rio in a house that combines his memories and his family. Freed from the immense burden of matches Brazilian players have to endure, he can now spend more time watching his 3 children grow up. And he's still playing. Earlier this year, he led Brazil to a world title at beach football. Reflecting on a career that's now come full circle, at 42, Junior can feel well satisfied.
É você saber que você fez aquilo que você
The best thing is to know that you've achieved what you set out to do in the best possible way.
melhor possível, né?
To be recognized for what you like doing.
Sempre gostou de fazer, né? Eu acho que para mim o mais importante.
For me, it's important to feel that in everything I've done, but especially as a professional football player, that I did my work well.
E saber que eu fiz bem o meu trabalho.
Few players have had longer or more successful careers than Junior. Perhaps there really is something in learning your craft on the beach. City's most famous